The first counseling skill that I will be demonstrating in the upcoming video is the skill of encouraging. And so, what this skill is meant to do is to do just as it says, to encourage the client to keep talking. It lets them know that you're engaged, that you're interested in what they're saying, and that you want them to delve deeper into what they're saying. So this skill should be used in almost every single counseling session. It's a part of active listening, keeping the client talking. It should always be a goal in counseling. So a common phrase used when a counselor is illustrating the skill of encouraging is, "Have I heard you correctly?" So this is just kind of clarifying what the client has said, making sure that the counselor and the client are on the same page as far as what the client is saying. A way to illustrate encouraging is through head nods. This is just a nonverbal reassurance to the client that, yep, I'm with you. I hear what you're saying. I want you to keep going. Same thing with just small utterances such as mm-hmm or aha. These aren't very distracting for the client. You're not going to interrupt them. It's just letting them know that, yes, I'm actively engaged in hearing what you're saying and processing it. Open-handed gestures is a nonverbal way of showing encouragement to your clients. It's not threatening, keeping your own hands opened. It's a way to keep your clients talking without actually having to say anything. Positive facial expressions. It just, when your client glances up at you, you want your face to show positive affect so that they're not intimidated or don't feel as if you're judging them for what they're saying. Restatements are often used. So this is just taking a few words from a sentence or phrase that the client has said, 3-4 words, and just restating it back to them, letting them know, I've heard you. Do you want to go more into that part of, your phrase or your sentence? And then being attentive, just, sitting up straight, eye contact, being engaged, showing that you're listening is important. And then being warm and caring is really important because if a client feels that, they're being judged, they're not going to want to keep talking. So it's very important to, when you're encouraging a client, to have a warm and caring demeanor about you, show that you're generally interested in what they're saying. The second counseling skill that I will be exhibiting in the upcoming video is observing and reflecting feelings. So with this skill, what a counselor does is identify the client's emotions and then feed them back to them. This is really similar to or used with paraphrasing and summarizing. So for example, this often looks like, Johnny, it sounds like you feel angry. Am I right? So just having that check-in in the end, asking, if you're correct is important, but it just putting a name to their emotion is often helpful in clarifying what they're feeling, both for you and for them. Sometimes the clients won't recognize the emotion that they're feeling necessarily. So if you put a name to it, they might be more likely to delve further into it and go explore those emotions further, explore why they're feeling angry, for example. And then finally, and I think this is an important one, by observing and reflecting feelings, you're allowing a client the chance to correct a wrong assumption that you as a counselor may have made. So for instance, if you say, Johnny, it sounds like you're feeling angry, am I correct? And they have, by doing that, they have the chance to say back to you, no, I actually don't think it's anger that I'm feeling. It's more apprehension. And so that's an important opportunity to give your client to correct you if you have made the wrong assumption. So this counseling skill is particularly important for that reason, I think. And so I will demonstrate both of these in the video to come, where I will be working with a woman who is struggling with issues surrounding her recent divorce. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. So I know you wanted to come and make an appointment this week. So tell me a little about your week. How's everything been going?
It's been going okay. Still trying to get used to, you know, everything since the divorce and trying to adapt to all the differences that there is. Um, Sometimes I'm doing okay, and sometimes other days it's really hard. Um, this week he didn't get um, Bobby from practice, and he was supposed to pick him up at 3 o'clock, and he thought it was 4 o'clock. So then it was a whole big deal because Bobby had to, you know, use one of the other parents' phones to call and ask me why I wasn't there. And so then I felt bad because I wasn't there. So this other parent probably thought I was supposed to be there, but it was really his dad that was supposed to be there. And apparently he was stuck at work, or he forgot. And it was just, it's very, very frustrating because it just never would have really been like that before. I just, so that was a problem this week. He just seems like he's different than when we were together. He's, I don't know, not as present in our kid's life as he used to be when, he lived at home with us. And it's just been harder on me to pick up all that extra slack that I used to be able to rely on him for. And, I'm having kind of a hard time getting used to that. Um,
Yeah, I could understand why that would be. It's definitely different to change up. You're recently divorced, so there's a lot of things that you're going to have to be getting used to. Something I was noticing as you were speaking specifically about your husband not coming to pick up your son from practice. I could hear that your voice went up a little bit and you sounded angry. Is that correct? You feel anger towards your husband right now, or your ex-husband? Excuse me.
um, More frustration than anger, but yes, then it does make me angry. Um, but I'm annoyed and frustrated because now I have to do all this much more, and I feel like he is not um, taking as much responsibility. Like he kind of took a step back from them and the responsibilities of having kids, and it's I don't know why he would have done that, and I don't know if he even realizes it, or it's I don't know how much busier he could possibly be because what's different now for him? He just lives in a different place. Um, so he doesn't have, more responsibility. I feel like just after the divorce, he decided to like take a break from everything and not
Mm-hmm.
just me. So that's kind of been difficult.
So, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that you're very frustrated with your husband now, not necessarily for leaving you, but because of the changes you've seen him after the divorce.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's a lot, more distant. And I kind of expected him to be more distant from me a little bit because you would expect that with a divorce, I guess. But not more distant from his kids,
Mm-hmm.
which, I don't want them to have a harder time, in their own lives because of what me and him are going through. So that's, making me, yeah, I guess angry or frustrated and sad for them when they don't have their dad there like they used to. And that's hard. And I guess I'm not sure how to bring it up to him or say it to him, but want him to be like he was before for the kids, to be more present in their lives and what he used to do and things like that.
So, you want him to be more present
Yes,
in the lives of your children.
yes. I want him to be at all their games and their school functions and their parent teacher conferences so that he knows what's going on and is still as much a part of their lives as he was before. I don't want it to feel like to the kids that things are that much different in their lives because I know it is, but I'm trying my best to keep things as normal as possible for them, and I wish that my ex-husband was doing the same, trying to keep things as normal as in their routine and things as he could, and I don't feel like he is.
You don't feel like he's trying his best to be a father to your children?
No, I feel like he's more worried about himself right now and just doing things on his own and more worried about himself than the rest of his family. So on Monday, when we were getting ready for bed, or I was getting the boys ready for bed, he always calls on, around the time that he knows that they get ready for bed.
Yeah.
And, the boys, they look forward to it every night, and they know that Dad's going to call so that they could talk to him a little bit when, they're not with him. And so Monday, we're getting ready for bed. They took their baths. We were reading a book, and, they had their pajamas on, so they were in bed, and he still didn't call. Still didn't call. Well, it's time for them, for me to turn out the light for them to go to sleep. I was stalling as long as I could, but it was, it was their bedtime. They had to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And he never called. And, both of them asked, why didn't Dad call? Why isn't Dad calling? What's he doing? Where is he? Can't we stay up and talk to him? We can't go to bed until we talk to Dad. And so how am I supposed to answer that? I don't know. I have no idea what he's doing. I don't know where he is. He always does call. So part of me is mad that he just forgot or didn't care to call. And then part of me is, worried, like maybe he can't call. Like what if something happened? And I'm sad for the boys. Part of me is sad for the boys that...
Yeah. Wow.
Because they're upset.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're, potentially worried that something could have gone wrong. You're angry and frustrated that, he's not at least holding up his end of the bargain as far as calling at bedtime if he can't be there to tuck them in. And you're sad for your sons because you see that they're hurting because they don't have their father there